Hunter! Oh
Hey,
my
what's going
God.
on?
I had to play that first. It gets me so excited.
Oh, good.
The
Yeah,
whole
that's gonna
entire
turn out all
video.
right. Yeah,
Yes, I'm so excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
Yes. So, everyone, welcome to the Thursday conversation with Larice Lanier. I am the founder of Lanier Studios. And tonight we have vocalist, guitarist, songwriter, and of course, entrepreneur, and so much more with us tonight. I am so excited to just sit down and have a conversation with you.
Yeah, I'm honored. I'm
I
honored.
believe our last conversation and actually interview was with News Talk West Tennessee, and that was in 2019.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was telling you earlier that you haven't aged. I don't know what's going on. I
Wow.
mean, I don't know your face. Everything's the same. Nothing changes every time I see you.
It's staying away from garlic is what it is, you
Oh,
know.
okay. I mean, you don't change. So I'm just so excited to have you. And so just tell me, basically, how are you feeling tonight? Are you excited about all of this?
Yeah.
Just where your career is and what you're doing now?
Yeah. I'm excited because I'm finally getting in the flow of writing regular material, like new material all the time. I'm excited about these new songs that I've got coming out this summer.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
Yeah, I've got a team of really great people helping make great art. So that's something I haven't always had. So uh, my advice to other songwriters would be to keep at it because you're going to meet some amazing people to help make your music or art sound amazing. You know. So
Well,
I've been
before we get into that, a
yeah
little
yeah
deeper, I want to talk about that and how your team came in and how they're working with you and all of that. I just have to let the people know, the listeners know all about you. Okay. Hunter Cross was born and raised in the home of rockabilly music, and that would be Jackson, Tennessee, correct?
That's right. That's
Good
right.
old Jackson, Tennessee, where everyone can tell you stories of seeing Perkins hanging out at Cecil's bandstand. Oh my goodness!
Mm.
Oh my God! And eating burgers at the first Hard Rock Cafe in the States.
Mm,
The Hub City is his home.
mm,
Beautiful. Situated just between Memphis, Nashville, and muscle shows, being in the heart of the music triangle has been nothing short of incredible for Hunter as a musician. I can definitely say that is so very true. And to be here, it's such an amazing thing from Jackson, Tennessee. His lyrics are heavily influenced by the beatnik movement of the late 50s and 60s in that he writes from experience. His lyrics come first, and when you listen to his music, they are at the forefront. He would describe his sound as a mix of Americana, psych rock, and modern alternative. He loves to experiment, and evolve as an artist. He eats, sleeps, and breathes music, which is awesome. He and his grandfather owned the only brick and mortar record store between Memphis and Nashville. And preserving music history is something he is insanely passionate about. That is awesome. So that tells me that you are well rounded, you're versatile, and you said you eat, you sleep, and you breathe music. That means you are all artistic. So
mm.
it's all in your soul and your spirit. Can you tell me just a little bit about your background growing up in Jackson, Tennessee, which we know is the home of the rockabilly music? People come from all over the world because of the rockabilly movement here. So can you
Yeah.
just tell me a little bit about your history and how it led to playing the guitar and all of that?
I wish I could say I was more aware of that my whole life, but I was really only aware of all of that rich musical history in my early teens when I decided that I wanted to play, pick up the guitar and make a good go of being a singer and songwriter. Yeah, before then, I don't know. I'm honestly just a little country boy. Grew up in the sticks, out in Medina, and literally on a basically a farm.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, so I didn't really know anything about that world until you know my cousin started introducing me to all different types of music: punk music, grunge music, alternative music, country, even like older country. There was always kind of top 40 country on the radio, and I just never really resonated much with that. It was only when I was like introduced to alternative, kind of edgier music. I guess that goes hand in hand with being an angsty teenager, but it
Yes.
it it
Mhm.
really did resonate with me, and maybe I had trouble expressing myself as a teen, and that um, I used music as a vehicle to express myself, and it just sort of snowballed.
Oh
So
wow. So as far as playing the guitar, so did you grow up playing the guitar? How did you learn? How did that become a part of your musicality?
yeah, anytime there was a piano in the room, I would always kind of pick at it, and I liked just the instant feedback of playing a note and hearing it and trying to formulate notes and chords and stuff. But I really didn't know what I was doing. But I did that enough times. Anytime there was a piano in the room that my family suggested that I take piano lessons.
Oh, mhm.
Um, but I said I really wanted to make a go of the guitar. I had already had my eyes on like guitar heroes like Jimi Hendrix and even Kurt Cobain,
Yes.
guys like that. And yeah, the punk music especially, or the grunge music from the '90s, it was simple enough, so it was like obtainable. So it was like, oh, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like I had this idea that if you're going to be a musician, it was just perfection, and maybe you had to be naturally gifted, but being exposed to music that was like raw and gritty and had mistakes and stuff like that really resonated with me. It was real and doable, and I wanted to emulate that because artists like that was real expression, that you felt pain and you felt,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it really resonated with being kind of an outside, like, these people understand whatever it is that I am, like being on the outside looking in kind of thing.
And I
um
call it in the moment, right now.
mm,
What's
yeah,
coming
yeah,
from your soul right now. And that's what I
yeah.
always loved about you when I first saw you, perform 2018, 19. I knew then it's just something about you because it comes right out of your soul. You're just standing on the mic, holding the guitar and playing. You're
Mm,
not worrying about anything around you and you just deliver. And that's what I love about what you do. And that's why I really wanted to interview you again because you just give us what you have. You give
Mm,
us Hunter Cross. And that's what I really appreciate because you're very transparent with your listener.
thank you.
Yes. Do you okay, so just tell me a little bit too, because you're from Jackson, Tennessee. And then you listen to all of this music and it's in you. What did you always want to just be on stage and perform? Was this something that you were just dying to do?
um, I don't know. I think I just yeah, I was kind of shy. I'm this weird middle ground between like wanting to be alone, but also I enjoy entertaining. I've had this conversation recently with friends. Is like, yeah, I think I was kind of born to be a little bit of an entertainer because I love making people happy. I love lifting people's spirits
Yes.
because everybody needs that. You know, they really do, especially now. And what better way to do that than with music? And I get something out of it too. It's a very symbiotic relationship that I have with an audience or a single person, being able to play to them. And if I can just make their day and then make my day, then that's quality of life, you know?
So because you do see that when you're performing, because it's just something about it. I can tell also as a musician, you're a vocalist, but at the same time, you're connected to your instrument. And
Hmm.
you know how some people can sing and they play, but it's just like, okay, I'm just playing. But it's one whole package when you deliver your music. So tell me, how are you able? Was it from watching all these influences? Because I was reading Billy Corgan. Okay, all of these people. And then the first one I think of when I see you is Bob Dylan.
Yeah, yeah. Oh wow.
Even your mannerisms and how you flow through your phrasing, because I am a vocalist, so I'm listening to all of that. How you flow through your phrasing, how you play guitar, all of that. I do see that. So,
Yeah.
what are you thinking when you're performing behind that mic and holding that guitar?
Ooh, well, thinking while doing those two things can be very dangerous. So a lot of
Exactly.
it is emptying the mind is just kind of just it's a feeling thing. The moment that you start to get in your head, I make mistakes every time I think.
Never
I
do it.
I usually mess up. Now, there is a level of like in between songs where you're thinking, okay, what am I going to do next? Or I'm going to make this split second decision, but like focusing on something is actually not a good idea in my experience. It's more about emptying the mind and kind of just replacing it with sound and whatever the feeling is. A lot of it is emotion and feeling, and
Yes.
you're you're seeing, but you're not always receiving what you're seeing. Although I am very in tune with the crowd. I do my best to play to the room. That really excites me when we're sort of locked in together. I can give it my all. It is a challenge when there's a disconnect, and when we had lockdowns and everything, that was extraordinarily difficult to be able to perform regularly because you weren't able to play to an audience. But since that all has cleared up, it's just been magical. Like people, I think they value live music more than they ever have, at least in my experience.
Yes.
I know I do. Yeah.
And it got
So.
to me. It even got even more intense after the COVID situation. I don't know if you
Mm,
noticed, even your lives, when
mhm,
you're
mhm.
in the room. Do you sense like a shift in the atmosphere since COVID as a musician?
I think if everybody's there for the music, they're more grateful. People were starving for that community, that live connection, and I think
Yes.
it made everybody realize that stuff can quickly go away. Even before COVID, I was singing the praises of like support your local artists, believe in live music because if you don't support it, it will just fade away.
Yes.
The audience, the people are the key to keep things going. So I always stress that, and I found that people that really buy into the live music and the community and art, performance is an art form. They're hungry for it. They love it. There's a better connection than I've ever seen. So.
I really appreciate you because you talk about live music. And
Mm.
that's what a lot of, to me, sometimes we're getting away from that. It's more now we have streaming and artists are still doing concerts and things like that. But the love of live music, there's nothing like it. And I hear you, because you're doing a great deal of lives now.
Yeah, yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about that and your experience with the live music and giving it to your supporters.
Yeah, it's in a way it's easier now more than ever to kind of capture, live music instantly. Like, the secret is for me, I've just been carrying around my phone, and I do attach a stereo microphone to kind of clean up the audio, but
Okay.
for years I've just plopped it on a tripod, set up a mic, and started to stream. If it's that easy to do, then I'm going to do it. I am interested in kind of upping my live stream game, but yeah, if I can share my music in a meaningful way, I'm going to do it. So
And another thing too, I noticed even in your videos, to
yeah.
me, it's like I'm live there with you. Some people
Oh, good.
can shoot a video,
Mm,
performers, and it's like, okay, it's just so not real. But
mm.
I feel every emotion. You are quite an actor.
Thanks.
You're
Thank
always in
you.
the moment. And that's what I love about you. I love your videos. That's why I say I get so excited because you're always in the moment through each scene. I can see your facial expressions. I can feel your soul when you're performing. It's just so amazing because it's just like I'm there in the live with you
Mhm,
in your
mhm.
videos.
That's
So to
important.
be with you live, that way, and to also be with you live in a video, we have some performers listening tonight. Can you tell me and tell them what it's like to shoot a video and still remain true to yourself in the video?
Well, it's something that I've been doing for a while, so maybe it's just instinctual, but going within, I know that sounded kind of trite, but yeah, like just like performing for an audience, you're performing for a camera. You're expected to sort of go within and be true, and
Mhm.
and it's different for everyone. It sounds kind of funny, but you just channel the song, you channel the sound. Um, Before I picked up the guitar, I was really considering going into making film. I was
Oh, I can see that.
yeah, I was fascinated with
Definitely.
film as a kid, so that's probably sunk into me, like that performance aspect. Even theater, I've always enjoyed it. I actually never really did any theater as a kid, but I had a tremendous appreciation for it. Drama, I think, is what it is. Maybe I'm kind of like a drama queen at heart. Maybe that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I would say so because you're good at it. To even perform live and then go to video, it's to me, it's still you give us that experience of being live with you. We understand
Mm,
we're able to follow your music. We understand what's going on. So I think that's very important. I really wanted to point that out tonight.
mm.
And then too, let's talk about versatility.
Yeah, okay.
What is your view of versatility? That's a big thing for me as an artist to not be in a box. What do
Mm.
you see when you see an artist being versatile?
Yeah, that's almost more real. I mean, I think back when the music industry had a higher status in the world, that was the business. Is you found an audience for an artist, and you said, "Hey, we see that you appeal to this audience. I want you to stay in this box because
Yes.
this is going to move this many CDs or records or whatever." So yeah, it's almost more realistic for somebody to be a variety of things and not just one product.
Right.
And some people find their niche and they stick with it. I've never really been able to do that. I've honestly, for better or for worse, have just done what moves me. Ever since I picked up the guitar, I've just stuck to my guns, and sometimes there's compromise, but for the most part, I'm not going to bend. I'm really
Right.
going to do what I find is meaningful and hope that it resonates with people. And often it does. So,
Well, I noticed too because you are a performer. You love music. You love what you do, but at the same time, you have compassion for people, and I do hear and see that when you perform. We just received a comment. It says two great performers. I don't know who this is, but we thank you very much. And then Glenn Wayne Pfeiffer says, give his all to the fans, really connects with emotions and the feelings of the crowd. And that is so true.
Thank you,
That's what
Glenn.
I was saying. Glenn, we thank you for that comment. When okay, let's talk about you give everything to the fans. When they come out, when your supporters come out, you give everything. I mean, you don't see a whole lot of movement in your body like you're like, you don't see that, but it comes from your soul out, even with
Mm.
you playing the guitar.
Yeah.
Tell me, when they're in front of you and you're singing and you're connecting with these lyrics, what do you want them to feel and know when they leave your concert that night or
There
that day?
may I would say, my fans make my life meaningful. My life's purpose is to write and express and try and connect. And if somebody shows me that is resonating with them, then in a way that part of my life is complete. So that's everything when somebody is appreciative of what I'm laying down because I'm coming from the heart. That's just everything to me.
Oh
So
wow, it's very true because um, it's it's a responsibility as an artist. And I tell a lot of young artists when you say you want to perform, remain transparent to yourself first, truthful to yourself, and then truthful to your supporters and your listeners. And that will make you more effective.
yeah.
Do not get up there and pretend to yourself and then pretend to them. Let them know this is you and give it to them. And that's what
Mhm.
I do appreciate with you as an artist.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So true. Okay, I want you to tell me a little bit about you're performing, but then you remember we had our interview back in 2019. Tell me how you transformed and transitioned into 2023 to the Hunter Cross that we know today.
Yeah. So for many years, I was in a band called the Skeleton Crew, which I suppose
Yes.
we've
Yes.
never officially disbanded. We've just been on a perpetual hiatus.
I love the Skeleton Crew. Can I throw that in there? Thank
Oh,
you. Oh, that
thank
was
you so
my
much.
when I moved back in 2018. That was my welcome crew in my head.
Mm, mm.
so, so I do love you all, and yes,
Yeah,
do not
that was.
rest in peace.
Do I know?
Do not rest in peace.
Oh yes. We've probably got a few more performances in us for sure,
Wonderful.
and maybe some more songs. We'll see. We'll see. We'll be like the Stones, where they'll stop and then they'll. Oh, just kidding. We've got five more tours. No, no, this is the last one. No, that'll be us.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Skeleton Crew might have been. I don't know. That's very emotional. Me. That was like the remnants of edgy teenage hunter me just kind of
Yes.
out in music, and that's not me anymore. And now I appreciate that, I really do. And sometimes I'll be honest, I'll dip back into that world. I think I was just living that world and wanting to. Yeah, that was just our brand. I know that sounds kind of corporate, but that's sort of the vehicle that we went with, was this kind of dark southern gothic.
Yes.
that
Yes.
that was the genre that we sort of labeled ourselves as. And that worked for a while. I think we just sort of grew out of it in a way. I would like to think that the music has definitely matured. Um, yeah, I think I've grown from that as a songwriter, but I still love those songs. I still love performing those songs.
When you talk about grown, I want to dig just a little bit deeper for other young artists. As far as 2019 to 2023, what
Mhm.
caused you to grow? Was it life? Was it circumstances? You don't have to tell us, any of your personal business, but what were the reasons? Was it your lifestyle? Like what happened over these years to say, this is what I want to do? This is where I want to be today?
Yeah, I would think of Skeleton Crew. It was almost like just kind of mishmash bits of poetry that I put, amplified guitar behind and made music, and it was way more abstract and maybe more embryonic, so to speak. Now my whole writing process is a little bit more matured, and I don't want to say a formula, because the moment things become formulaic, I'm very uninterested.
Mhm.
But I'd like to think that I've figured out. my songwriting a little bit easier. I can channel within way easier. It's less chaotic.
Hmm.
And life, yeah, you grow as a person. You break down and you build back up, and you break down again and you build back up, and all that comes through in your songwriting. And that's the great thing I will say about being alive and being a songwriter is you're kind of like writing your story, and everyone gets to see it for better or for worse in a way. So I would say you have to grow. You will deteriorate if you don't grow. That comes
That
with,
is so true.
yeah, that comes with life experience. That comes with being an artist. If you stay satisfied, then I think it's over. So
That is so true. Before we go on about that songwriting, Roxanne Oliver Kreider says Hunter is the best rock star dude ever. He spoils his fans. All righty then. I love her.
thank you,
Thank you,
Roxanne.
Roxanne. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. This is phenomenal. I tell you. But I want to talk a little bit about that songwriting. I love what you said. The thing about songwriting, when you're writing, where do you, is there a particular place? Do you go to the corner? I always ask my artists when they come on this show, what do you do for songwriting? Is it something that you may see the sky and you start writing? What happens to you to begin your songwriting?
Okay. Well, part of me doesn't want to give away the magic in a way, but honestly, what I can say is, if you got a feeling, if you got a lot of it is mood based. A lot of it is looking at your current body of work and say, what is missing? What have I not written? Or just simply, what am I feeling today? What message do I want to convey tomorrow? Technically, you can get into the beat. The drums have always driven my melodies.
Mm,
Um, I write with drum machines. I write with drum loops. Um, I have a tempo in mind, standard beat, half time, double time. All of these things push my music and make it a reality. You, you it a lot of times the music just writes itself. You are just a conduit of what is being channeled. It's kind of a magic, strange, hard to pin down world, songwriting, but it is one of the best things about being alive is to write music. I
yes.
can honestly say you go to a place that you really can't get to any other way.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And see, your supporters know that. Your fans, they know that. And they can relate. Once you deliver what you have been given to yourself, then you deliver it to your supporters. And we really appreciate that. We really do. Yes. I have a question. When it comes to the songwriting, have you ever been discouraged, like, oh, this is not working out? What do you do if you're saying, okay, I've written this, but it's not quite there yet? What do you do?
Mm. Well, all my heroes say, and this is so what I'm saying is not original, but allow yourself to write a bad song. I recall Billy Corgan actually saying that is
Hmm.
write a bad song, write
Hmm.
10 bad songs. I think Ed Sheeran said something about writing is like a tap. It's like a dirty tap. You have to let filthy water run through the reservoir, through the pipes, until you get clean water. That's just how it is. If your pride is too high to not allow yourself to fail, um, you're, in my opinion, that's not edifying to your art. You're
Yeah.
not you're not really making any progress. So I actually wrote a song called "Fail to Win," and I guess you can apply that
Yes.
to that
Oh my goodness.
philosophy.
Yes. We played in the beginning of the show, we played Labyrinth. Can you tell me a little bit about that as far as your experience for that particular song?
Yeah, so that song just kind of fell out during it might have been late 2019, early 2020, and it was so radically different than anything I'd ever written. It's very power pop.
Hmm.
It just felt like a sea change, and it certainly wasn't a Skeleton Crew song. And I sort of kept that melody on the back burner, and actually rewrote it several times. until I was satisfied. That could probably answer your other question. Is um, I don't think I don't think songs are always going to be the way they are on the front end. Sometimes they are. I have written
Yeah.
songs, in 5 minutes, and that's the definitive version, and it's absolutely magical when that happens.
Oh, awesome.
But that's not always the case, and that's okay, because the song that you spend, maybe 3 months refining can be just as good and
Hmm.
just as magical. Often I will perform songs in their embryo stage live to sort of watch how the audience reacts, just to even hear myself. It's like, am I selling this? Like, is this
Yeah.
something that came up in my head and thought was good in a room alone, but doesn't really resonate with an audience? And yeah, that's totally necessary to bomb, to write music that's just not you. And that's how you become a better writer. Comedians do the same thing.
So it's really interesting because I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, as far as your writing, because you're really the total package because you're always thinking. You seem like a person who's always thinking. So when you're
For better or for
experienced,
worse.
yes, you're always there in the moment. That's what I was saying. Even as you perform, when you're sitting down, something happens. Do you say, "Oh, this is going to be a song today"? Have you ever done that?
Yeah, yeah. It's like this was the sunrise. This was the sound of the sun coming up this morning, or I need that kick drum to like hit me in the face, and I want to
Yes.
I want to answer that with some fuzzy guitar,
Oh, fierce.
um,
Yes.
or I want to feel up, so I'll make sure and switch it to a major key and go up to 122 BPMs. You know, it's very feeling based. I think sometimes you can write songs with a clear mind. It's like, I'm going to write a country song in the key of G, and I'm going to talk about this. Yes, I can write those songs. I don't think they're very interesting. Um, that might be what separates me from a lot of people in Nashville. I don't know. That's just it's worked for me, so that's just what I've stuck with.
But I think it's great because you remain true to yourself, and that's what makes you a great artist. You can't be someone else. You must be Hunter Cross. So that's what makes you very special. And also, too, with your songwriting, it relates to others, to the people. People want to
Mhm.
hear something real. We don't want
Yeah,
to hear you talking about just, oh, the sky is this and it's not making any sense.
yeah,
We want to hear reality and real. We
yeah,
want to hear you give us something real. And that's what we
yeah.
love about it.
Or
So,
maybe something that doesn't sound typical, something that doesn't sound
yes.
formulaic. I think if I've accomplished anything, it's been to be unique.
Yes. But that's what an artistic, that's what being an
Mm,
artist is. If we all were the same,
yeah,
that would be boring.
yeah.
We want you to be different. And that's what I love. I never wanted to be, I grew up singing, I'm a preacher's daughter. So I grew up singing gospel, soul, blues, and all of that. But then I ended up majoring in what? Classical music. So I
Mm,
didn't always put myself in a box. The
yeah,
world is yours. Don't always just be, you know,
yeah,
this
absolutely.
artist like this. And
Hmm.
we're all different. We're not
Yeah,
going to be the same, but
right.
we must appreciate each other's art. So that's why I love you. I think you're just phenomenal. So it
Thank
does
you.
not matter because you're true to yourself in the way you deliver your message. It makes you very, very special. And that's
Thank
what your supporters were saying just a minute ago. I just have to go back one more time. Let's
you.
just read this. Hunter is the best rock star dude ever.
Roxanne, you're the greatest. Thank you.
He spoils his fans. So I think that's just a wonderful thing. It gets in the world we have today, we need artists like you. So keep doing what you're doing.
You
We're gonna
got it.
take a break
Yeah.
and we're gonna play Smile. Can you tell me a little bit about Smile before we play this?
Oh yeah. So that's an old one. Ooh, super. Talk about mood. You just
Uh-oh, I love it.
it's yeah. I never really tell what my songs are about, but it is such a melancholic kind of tripped out, dazed mood. And maybe the color is golden. That's the color
Oh,
of the
wow.
song.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. So we're gonna
Mhm.
play it, okay? When we get back, we're gonna talk about entrepreneurship.
Okay.
and branding and all of that, so other artists can learn a little bit more about that. Okay, and you.
Okay.
All
All right.
right, we'll be right back, everyone. Smile.
Thank you so much. Seems really appropriate that we do this next song in this building. So it's called Smile. My features, lost him in the back of my mind, with my dilated eyes playing dead, looking up at the sky, with the empty hands writing nothing, feeling nothing, saying something. Tongue is writing inside my mouth. The ideas in my mind slowly fade away. With the crooked teeth in my neck, my syndrome was down my spine, and the other man looking at closer through the window blind. I discerned so deep in my hands are broken and so distinct inside myself, finding body so simply flying away. Baker on violin, everybody. Give a round of applause. Casey Stanfield on sax. Give him a round of applause. Thank you so much.
Yay, Hunter. Oh my goodness. Can you tell us where that was recorded?
Yeah, that was recorded in historic New Southern Hotel downtown Jackson. Yeah, that's the hotel lobby. 1927, I think, is when that was built.
Yes.
And I was just telling somebody today, they've painstakingly tried to keep everything period correct. It's a beautiful room. It sounds great too.
The acoustics are gorgeous, and
Yeah.
the entire set with you and the musicians, the sound, it's just absolutely amazing. So professional and so great. Great.
Colton Colton Hunt with Hunt the Sound did the audio for that, and he's fantastic. And
Oh, he's amazing.
yeah, yeah. If you
He's
guys ever
amazing.
need help with audio, he's your guy.
Yeah, because the mix, I mean, and then too, I heard like this, it was almost like an echo, just a little
Mhm.
bit of reverb that was just
Yeah.
perfectly mixed. Your
Mhm.
voice was gorgeous, and then
Thank you.
the guitar, everything was just wonderful. I love that video. I love it. And the vintage look.
Yeah,
Yes. That goes into what we're going to talk about, branding.
yeah.
So we had I remember 2019, of course, you were the Skeleton Crew. So you're a Hunter Cross Music, correct? So
Mhm.
what did you do for your branding, your look? Talk a little bit about the look that you have and how you want to sell yourself to the people.
Yeah, initially, I went from this kind of dark, moody Southern Gothic, and I wanted to do a 180 with like, powder pinks and like powder blues and
Hmm.
up tempo. And now I think it's gone from like way polar opposite to kind of meeting in the middle. I think that's probably where I am, and that's so human because some that from one moment to the next, you're happy or you're kind of moody, melancholic, introspective, extroverted. That's human, and I don't know how to be any more genuine than that. So
Because you still
yeah,
have color. You have
yeah,
color.
yeah,
And
definitely,
you keep that the whole 50s, 60s, 70s look
yeah.
all together. Like I always look at your shoes. I love your shoes. I
Thank
love
you.
I'm a shoe woman. So
Yeah,
I love your hair. I love the look that you can you tell other artists what they should do when they're trying to come up with their brand or if they're trying to find their place? What should they do or think?
oh my gosh. Yeah,
Process.
well, to maybe the untrained ear, it might sound shallow, but whatever you can do to get people into your house, your brand, your music, that's your house. Whatever it takes, so long as it's ethical, of course.
Right.
Whatever it takes to get them in the house to enjoy this magic that you're making for them, do it. And if that takes wearing makeup, if that takes dressing out in suits, if that takes piercing everything on your face, whatever it is true to you. It's also important to don't be something you're not, but it's like be who you are on steroids. Be like amplify, hyperize yourself,
Yes.
and take risks. If you maybe think of, I don't know, you think Elvis felt super confident wearing his pink suits, but he did it, and he was being true to himself. I'm sure he got flack from all the guys, but guess what? He got all the girls, and that's
Sure did. You
that's
sure did.
probably who he wanted to impress anyway.
That's so true.
Um, Elvis is a great example. I mean, he was wearing mascara and found. I mean, he just he wanted to dress out and look good. He wanted to perform and take risk and do what nobody else was willing to do, and it certainly paid off for him.
It sure did. Sure did. When you
Yeah.
when you talk about your branding, do you have merchandise that you sell, or how does that work with you as Hunter Cross?
Yeah, everything sort of kind of goes through that Hunter Cross lens, and when it was Skeleton Crew, it was the Skeleton Crew lens. With that, it was a little bit more dark, like I said. But with this, I have experimented more with brighter in your face colors and more lighthearted. I don't want to bum people out. I
Right.
want them to be excited and happy. You don't want to be annoying, but you want to do things that are maybe fun or maybe tongue in cheek. Those are things that I would never consider, as a dark, moody teenager, and now totally embrace. Um, so
Yes.
yeah, that's what I would say the evolution of my brand has been, and maybe where it's at now.
Yes.
So.
Do you have some vinyl available? Do you have
I do. I
vinyl?
do. So, Existential Origami, that came out June 25th of last year, and that was a big deal because that date marked the vinyl release. I released everything simultaneously, the digital as well as the vinyl. I spared no expense making that record into a physical object for everyone to consume and enjoy. Yeah. I had that pressed in Asheville, North Carolina. I had to do it there if I wanted to get it out before Christmas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So the vinyl world has kind of blown up and has continued to
Oh,
stay
yes.
steady. A lot of people could not get their records last year, and I was fortunate enough to get mine. But yeah, I'm obviously, as you know, a big supporter of vinyl, so you can get my music from my shop, Third Eye Curiosities. You can order it from my online store, Hunter Cross Music, and you can stream me. I'm on basically every platform. So
I want to talk to, since we are talking all of that, I really want to know a little bit more about, you have your branding, right? You have your look, you have your music, but then you perform. Tell me a little bit about bringing in musicians, performing. How does that work for you? Do you get people that you know? Are you comfortable with working with people that you do not know? Tell me a little bit about that because I want to learn a little bit more about you and educate other artists.
yeah, all of the above. I'm pretty much a go with the flow kind of person. Obviously, with music, you want to stay in the right key and you want to stay on beat. Um, but everything in between, I'm okay with it not sounding perfect. It's going back to why I fell in love with music in the first place, is it was real and there were imperfections. So I've been fortunate enough to meet a group of guys that I really connect with. Um, but I'm totally open and often bring strangers on stage to perform with. I think that's super exciting.
Mm,
The
I love
crowd loves it. And when you tell them, hey, we've never played together, the song you just heard, we just heard for the first time, that takes everybody out. They love that.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
wonderful that you offer that stage.
I
That means that
love it.
you're not selfish.
Oh,
And
well, I just love it. It's yeah, it's magic. I don't know how
that's
else to
your
say it.
show. Yes.
It should be celebrated. It's a superpower to be able to play music, and I just want it to be nurtured and supported, and I just celebrate it every day. It's
Music, yes, it is a universal language, and it's a beautiful thing when an artist can share with other musicians. So
yeah,
I just love that. I want to touch a little bit on your entrepreneurship. We're running out a little bit of time, but I really want to touch on that. So, you and your grandfather own the vinyl shop
yeah,
between what? Memphis and Nashville, which is here in
right.
Jackson, Tennessee, downtown. Can you tell me a little bit about being an artist and then also being an entrepreneur, owning your own vinyl shop, your own music shop? So tell me a little bit about that and how that plays in your life.
Yeah, so all of my musical heroes, and even I would cite Andy Warhol, is he is like the quintessential entrepreneurial artist. I really get off in a weird way on marrying business and art.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
it's a weird, complicated, and challenging business to be in, because art is so subjective. It's a weird thing to sell, but I don't know why I enjoy it, but I just enjoyed watching other men and women sell their wares, sell their art and music, and because most of what I like, it's not necessarily mainstream.
Hmm.
So watching them find an audience and trying to sell, what is objectively maybe challenging or dissonant to people is just fascinating, and I sort of fell in love with that. Um, and yeah, all my favorite artists, David Bowie, Bob Dylan,
Yes.
Jack
Yes.
White, Billy Corgan, Tom Waits. They're all businessmen, in a way. Yeah, and I love that.
It's
I've
so
always been, yeah,
I learned even, it's more than just being a musician and performing, but we also have to have that business knowledge and that intellectual brain that works, that's always thinking
yeah,
and knowing what the business side of life is as a
yeah,
musician. It's so important. So,
right.
what are your thoughts on being an entrepreneur and then being able to be versatile and still be effective as a performer?
Yeah, I think so. if you can make with your own two hands and your mind, and that sustains you, if your art and your creation sustain you, that's fulfillment for me. Being able to and deal in it, as far as the records are concerned, I deal in art, I deal in collector's items, and you meet some of the coolest people on earth, that love vinyl and music. I just, every day at the store that I'm there, I meet somebody typically new, who most people are happy to see me, happy to see the shop. Music is like, we engage in escapism, and you have to have a level of escapism to navigate through reality, so you don't have a nervous breakdown every day.
Right. Yes. Yes.
So being that, like, spirit guide, so to speak, is that's a privileged life. I don't know how else to say it. I love art and music, and I I get to be privileged enough to deal in it. So yeah, that I've figured out how to make it work, and I learn something new every day. But yeah, it's a quality of life like no other.
That is awesome. Awesome. Can you tell me a little bit how your supporters can or promoters can contact you for bookings or performances? What is the process?
Yeah, so I have a website, Hunter Cross Music. You can email me, hunter@huntercrossmusic.com. Joseph Delaney is my best friend manager, and you can certainly contact him as well, Joseph@huntercrossmusic.com. Facebook Messenger, Instagram. It is 2023, so, and my number's out there, my phone number. But yeah, social media, you can contact me directly, or through my website email.
Yes. Can you give us your social media sites, the Instagram? Because you have
Yeah,
some really cool
I,
things on Instagram too.
sure. So I'm Hunter Cross Music on Instagram, and Hunter Cross Music, or just Hunter Cross on Facebook. I believe the TikTok is Hunter Cross Music. YouTube is also Hunter Cross Music. So I'm pretty much everywhere. As
You
I
are
don't think,
everywhere.
yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about also your lives that you're doing? Those are very important. I wanted to throw that in there because I know you're doing so many on your, I do see them on your Facebook also. So can you tell us a little bit about your lives and the days that they're taking place?
Yeah, Tuesdays and Wednesday nights, I host music here in the Hub City. Tuesdays are Parkstone Grill, and that's 7 to 9. It's creative open mic. I will do a short set, and then it's first come, first serve for people to get up, and I call them the Lost Boys. They're the backing band.
Yes.
Um, they
Yes.
can back you up, or you can do a solo set. It's totally up to you. That's, once again, the cool thing about music is it's a language, and
Oh, I love it.
if you learn to speak it, magic happens. So, and Baker Brothers is every Wednesday night from 6:30 to 9:30, and that's in the heart of downtown. Um, Baker Brothers is truly a special place. That really lifted my spirits, you know, before taking that position of hosting music there every Wednesday night. I was sort of in a weird place with live music, COVID and everything. So that was a safe haven. It became a social hub for musicians and music enthusiasts, and people have literally met there. Well, I'll tell you this: Hope McGregor, um, she moved to Jackson and she didn't know anybody. She heard about the open mic, started performing, and started performing early last year. She's a hit with everybody now. She's made tons of new friends, and it all happened because of that open mic.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
she
Yeah.
the community embraced her, and yeah, she's an amazing person. So,
Oh,
and
wow.
follow her, by the way. It's Hope McGregor.
Hope
Um,
McGregor. Hope McGregor. Oh, wow.
she
Oh,
would
this
be
is
a good
awesome.
interview for sure.
Yes, I'd love to speak with her. Awesome. Okay, so tell me a little bit before we go.
Mhm.
With all of this taking place, where do you see yourself in 20 years or more?
Hmm. Well, hopefully being able to do this but scale it. I would love to be able to play anywhere in the world. Touring is very expensive. Um, 1,000 true fans has been my goal. I've preached that for a long time. If an artist, and this would be good, you've probably heard this, but um, if an artist or a content creator, because we are in that world now, can take care of 1,000 true fans, and they can sustain a creative career.
Oh, yes.
So, so that's my goal, is to, in 1,000, a true fan is somebody that will consume all of your content, will buy all your merch, will buy tickets to your shows. They will keep you alive as an artist, and that's the sole purpose of being a creator in my book, is to find. There's a lot of people in the world. If you can find 1,000 true fans, then you can make it as an artist. So
Yes, you can. Yes. Well, Hunter, I thank you so much for this conversation tonight. You have given us a wealth of information. You are so just always just bright. Your spirit is so bright and it shines in your music. And I can also see that your fans love you because of that. We really do appreciate you and we thank you so much for everything. But before we go, we're going to talk about Stella. And then I just want to thank all of my listeners tonight. And we just really appreciate you for listening to this amazing artist, Hunter Cross. Be sure to check him out at huntercrossmusic.com. He is phenomenal and he's such a light to the world. If you would like to support Lanier Studios and all of its programs and the stream, you can click on the QR code before you, or you can do our Cash App, which is Lanier Studios. And we love each and every one of you. So before we leave tonight, we're going to listen to Stella. Can you please tell me about Stella? I love this video. I do. I love it.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. So, wow. Stella is another old one that I had rewritten many, many times. Luckily, it all came together right as I was making this last newest album, Existential Origami. Gosh, yeah, it's sort of left up to your own interpretation, but you can feel Jackson, Tennessee in this song.
Yes, you can. You really can. Where was it recorded?
This was recorded in Nashville. Yeah, it was recorded in Nashville. I have a trusted team there, but the heart of Jackson is still there. At Skinny Elephant Studios, and that's in East Nashville. Dylan Aldrich was the engineer. He's a fabulous audio engineer.
Oh, wow.
Josh Weaver, he's in my book, he's a Hub City hero. He's awesome. He played drums on this song. Cameron Briley played bass. I had Miranda Lambert's music director play keys on this song.
Wow. Wonderful.
Yeah, his name is Danny Mitchell. He just took that song to another level.
Oh, wow.
So
you mentioned Hub City Hero. We have to congratulate you. I wanted to mention that earlier in the interview. Oh my goodness, congratulations. We are so excited about that. It is so well deserved. Well deserved. Yes, that is wonderful. So we really do appreciate you because like I said, you are a light to the world. We need more Hunter Crosses. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep remaining true to yourself and to your supporters and fans. And we love you. And someone says, congrats.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yes.
To quote Salvador Dali, is an artist's job is not to be inspired, but to inspire. So.
Yes, we love you. Thank you so much, Hunter. Please, we wish you all the best. And we're going to listen to Stella.
Right.
Everyone have a blessed night. Bye,
Thank
Hunter.
you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Watch the rain fall through houses, broken windows and shattered glass. These days my mind just stays cloudy. Righteous living ain't easy when you live this fast. Much has changed down in this town. People around here still know your name. then booms go. I'm still sleeping in the Hall of Fame. Still, I say you again. Still, I say you again. Still, I see you again. If it's the right time, I'll find you. If it's the right time, I'll find you. Some days it's hard just to look at you. You smile back at me through that picture frame, and I'm just living on the ends of a broken dream. These days my dreams, they all end the same. You went and found yourself a new love. Now you live above the streets of Berlin. You went and wrote yourself a new beginning.